Before starting this video, I have one small disclaimer. If you do not acknowledge and know that the Quran is fully complete, nothing is left out of the book. It is fully detailed. It is the best explanation of all things, and it is Allah's guidance sent down to us. And Allah does not forget, nor does Allah make errors. If you disagree with this statement, this video may not be for you. So will you take heed? What does it mean to take heed? Take heed, to be cautious with someone or something, to pay attention to someone or something. He failed to take heed of our advice. In this case, our advice is coming from the Quran. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, the praise be to Allah, Lord of the worlds, owner of the Day of Judgment. Quran. When the Quran is recited, listen to it with attention and hold your peace that you may receive mercy. So when the Quran is being recited and you hear it, brothers and sisters, please be quiet so Allah may have mercy on you. So let's take a look at what is Islam and its many sects. Which sect do you belong to? There are 56 in all. Thinking of joining? How do you know the correct one to follow? How do you judge? Quran. Do they not earnestly seek to understand the Quran, or are there locks on their hearts? See, Allah is asking a question to the believers about the non-believers. Do they seek, or is there locks on their hearts when they hear it? They don't. It's locks on them. They don't want it. As a Muslim, one should turn to the Quran and seek Allah's guidance and use it to judge if something is the truth from your Lord or not. Will you not take heed? Allah tells us in the Quran, the month of Ramadan, in which was revealed the Quran, a guidance for the people and clear proofs of guidance and the criterion. So the Quran is the guidance. So if you're following something besides the Quran, you're not being guided. See, the Quran is the guidance for the people. And what else? It's clear proofs of guidance. And that Quran is clear proofs of the guidance. And it's the criterion. So what is the criterion? What does it mean? Criterion, a principle or standard by which something may be judged or decided. So the Quran, you should judge by it and decide. If someone is telling you something, you decide by it. It should tell you, oh, that's not from Allah. The Quran doesn't say that. See, that's the criterion. You judge by the Quran. If it's not in the Quran, then it's not guidance from your Lord. So if someone tells you something about Islam, it should come from the guidance that Allah revealed to Nabi Muhammad for all mankind, and that is the Quran. So tell that person or persons to produce proof from the Quran, and if they cannot, or they offer you some other book as proof or guidance other than the Quran, you should disregard what he is saying, or you might find yourself following a sect. You say, what is wrong with joining a sect? What does Allah say? Will you not take heed? Quran, indeed, those who have divided their deen and become sects, you are not with them in anything. Their affair is only with Allah. Then He will inform them in the end about what they used to do. See, that was revealed to Nabi Muhammad. So it's for us, all of mankind. So if you're a believer, if you're one who submits, because Allah say you submit, because belief hasn't entered your heart yet. So if you're one who submit, then you should not be in no kind of sect. Because it says, indeed, those who have divided their deen and become sects, you are not with them in anything. So Nabi Muhammad would not be with y'all in anything. So I would not be in any sect. Quran. Turn in repentance to Him and fear Him and establish Salat, and do not be with those who associate others with Allah, like those who have divided their deen and become sects, every faction rejoicing in what it has. Is that not what's going on? Is this ayat not truth? Is this not proof from your Lord? Allah compares those in this ayat, those who divided their deen and become sects, with those who associate others with Allah. Why is that? I know why, but that's another video. See, but Allah tells them, those who are in sects, they like those who associate others with Allah. So what sect do you belong to? Quran. They broke up into sects only after the knowledge had come to them, due to jealousy and resentment amongst themselves. If it were not for a predetermined decision from your Lord to respite them for a definite interim, they would have been judged immediately. Indeed, the later generations who inherit the scripture are full of doubt. You see what I'm saying? See what Allah is saying here? See? After the knowledge came, they broke into sects. So what sect are you? Will you not take heed? Brothers and sisters, Allah makes Muslims not sects. Please, take heed. Who can utter better words than one who invites to Allah, works righteousness, and saying, I am one of the submitters? That's what a Muslim does. I'm like what I'm doing, inviting you to Allah, away from all that deviation and shirk. So what is a madhab? Arabic word for school of thought. So what is a school of thought? A school of thought, a particular idea or set of ideas held by a specific group, doctrine, a doctrine. Any idea that a group strongly believes in. Any idea that anything they come to their head that they strongly believe in. Be it through practicing this idea in their everyday life or through fighting for the adoption, can be considered a school of thought. Although many people today subscribe to the school of thought that everyone should have equal rights, decades ago this belief was not widely held. So any idea that come to your head that you feel strongly about, like this, the Aman message. What is the Aman message? The Aman message, which was endorsed in 2005 by prominent Islamic scholars around the world, recognized 4 Sunni schools of thought: Hanafi, Maliki, Shafi, Hanbali, and 2 Shia schools of thought: Jafari, Zaidi, and Zaidi. The Ibadah school and the Zahiri school of thought also. So what happened here? Subsequently, a 3-point ruling was issued by 200 Islamic scholars from over 50 countries, focusing on what? On issues of defining who is a Muslim, excommunication from Islam, takfir, and principles related to delivering religious edicts or fatwas in Arabic. Wow. So, 200 scholars from 50 countries came together on issues of defining who is a Muslim? Really? Allah alone tells us in the Quran who and what is a Muslim and how to recognize one. Not one scholar or 200 scholars from 50 countries have the authority. You must clean your own backyard before speaking on someone else. Allah said, do not attribute purity to yourselves. Will you not take heed? Quran 53:32. Those who avoid grave sins and foul acts, though they commit small sins, indeed your Lord is vast in forgiveness. He has been aware of you from the time he produced you from the earth and from your hiding places in the wombs of your mothers. So do not claim yourselves to be pure. He is most knowing of who fears him, not you. So who you think you is, Allah? You Isa, the son of Mary, huh? Everyone claim they are following the correct school of thought. Do the law say anything about these scholars? Hadith amongst their own scholars of the 73 sects, and 72 will be in the hellfire, except for one. That's not what we just read in the Quran. Allah says sex. He didn't distinguish between any of them. He said none of them. Period. We just read it. So if you follow this, then you deny the ayahs of Allah. Period. This comes from the Sunnis. The Satan. A'udhu billahi min Satan regime. I seek refuge with Allah away from the cursed Satan and away from whatever they associate with Allah. This is not from Allah. This is not from Prophet Muhammad. Do Allah say anything about the scholars? Because every time I mention Quran to a brother, they always say, oh brother, you have to refer to a scholar. What scholar? Where he at? Quran 9:31. They have taken their scholars and monks as lords besides Allah and the Messiah, the Son of Mary, and they were not commanded except to worship one God. There is no deity except Him. Exalted is He above whatever they associate with Him. See, those who do that, put their scholars on a certain pedestal, they compare them with the Christians. Allah is comparing them with the Christians here. Quran 9:34. O you who have believed, indeed, many of the scholars and the monks devour the wealth of the people unjustly and avert from the way of Allah. And those who hoard gold and silver spend it not in the way of Allah. Give them tidings of a painful punishment, because one day Allah's judgment will come upon us all of a sudden. And I pray Allah set me and set my deeds to be righteous, so I may acquire His favor and make it to paradise. Inshallah. Will you not take heed? So in conclusion, because I came to a judgment and a decision reached by reasoning from reading the Quran, there is only one way to Allah's paradise, and that's with Allah's guidance, and that guidance is only found in the Quran. Will you not take heed? Quran, and hold firmly to the rope of Allah altogether, and do not become divided, and remember the favor of Allah upon you when you were enemies, and He brought your hearts together, and you became by His favor brothers, and you were on the edge of the pit of fire, and He saved you from it. Thus does Allah make clear to you His ayats that you may be guided. His ayats that you may be guided. Do you understand? That's why you see these Shias and these Sunnis, they fight against each other, kill each other, and all that, because they're not brothers anymore. Now they're back on the edge of the pit of fire because they're not holding on to the rope of Allah. Do you not see this is clear proof of the guidance? Praise be to Allah. Quran 25:30. Then the messenger will say, O my Lord, truly my people took this Quran and abandoned it. Is this not true? This is true today. This ayat will come true. This ayat is around the time of judgment. Okay, you're not in the sect, you say. Let's see. Introducing the sect test. Do you perform wudu as follows? 1. Do you wash your hands 3 times? Do you with your right hand put water in your mouth, then in your nose to rinse? 3. Do you wash your face and forearms to your elbows 3 times? 4. Do you wet over your head, then your feet to your ankles 3 times? If your answer was yes, you are in a sect. Period. Because those practices come from where? Outside of the Quran. My proof and example is, here is where your wudu comes from in the hadith. Okay? It was narrated by, it says, Zayd al-Amari from his father, whoever that is, from Muawiyah ibn Qurra whoever that is, from Ibn Umar, whoever that is, because he's not the messenger. And the only place you see him is in the hadith itself. He's not in the Quran, none of these people. But they say, these people say that the messenger of Allah, peace and blessings be upon him, that the messenger of Allah performed ablution washing each part once. He said, this is the ablution of a person from whom Allah will not accept his prayer without it. Then he performed ablution washing each part twice. And he said, the ablution that Allah appreciates. So that's the ablution that Allah appreciates, huh? Then he performed ablution washing each part 3 times and said, this is how ablution is performed properly. And this is my ablution and the ablution of the close friends of Allah. This is weak. Let's compare this to what was revealed to Nabi Muhammad. So what do Allah say about wudu? What does Allah accept? Quran 5:6. O you who have believed, when you rise for salat, wash your face and forearms to the elbows, and wipe over your heads and wash your feet to the ankles. And if you are in a state of janaba, then purify yourselves. But if you are ill or on a journey or comes from a place of relieving himself, or you have contacted a woman and do not find water, then seek clean earth and wipe over your faces and your hands with it. Allah does not intend to make difficulty for you, but he intends to purify you and complete his favor upon you, that you may be thankful. Will you not understand? See that 3 times? That's more difficult than doing it once. They even say that if you do it once, Allah doesn't accept it. Allah didn't say that here. Allah said, wash over your face and your hands. He didn't say 3 times or none of that. This is once, because he didn't say twice and he didn't say 3 times. So this is 1 time. This is what was revealed to Nabi Muhammad. Not that was in that other book. This is the Quran. That is not the Quran. Will you not take heed? Quran 997. The Arabs testify in disbelief and hypocrisy, and more likely to be ignorant of the limits which Allah has revealed to his messenger. And Allah is the knower wise. See, that wudu came from the Arabs. That's their culture, whatever they do, where that come from. That comes from the Arabs. And that's what Allah says about the Arabs. They ignorant to the limits. See, when you do those 3 times, you went outside of the limits. Okay, Allah told you this. You went beyond the limits. Will you not take heed? Pay attention, brothers and sisters. Who are you learning your Islam from?
That's why Allah, when he put the statement, first of all, we should obey Allah, and we should obey the Prophet ﷺ, then we should obey the people who are in charge. That means, if this ayah is relevant to me, that means Ar-Rasul is relevant to me. It's relevant. So if it's relevant to me, where is his teaching? Where is his teaching? No, it says obey him. How I should obey him? That means, okay, so the Prophet ﷺ is not here, I shouldn't obey him.
No, you are obeying him because you're following the last
My grandfather passed away.
testament that he delivered.
Listen.
You don't understand that.
Should I obey my father? Should I obey my father?
Because we're following the last and final testament.
His forefathers. He looking for his father. The brother said by following the Quran. Truth. Quran 31:12. And when it is said to them, follow what Allah has revealed, they say, rather we follow that upon which we found our fathers, even if Satan was inviting them to the punishment of the blaze. Do you not see? If that not clear proof of Allah's ayahs? That's what they say. Quran 47:1-3, ayat 1-3. Those who disbelieve and avert from the way of Allah, he will waste their deeds. And those who believe and do righteous deeds and believe in what has been sent down upon Muhammad, and it is the truth from their Lord, he will remove from them their misdeeds and amend their condition. That is because those who disbelieve follow falsehood, and those who believe follow the truth from their Lord. Thus does Allah present to the people their comparisons. Do you not see? Now see the comparison? What I read of that hadith is falsehood. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Quran 6:153. And this is my path, which is straight to follow. So follow it, and do not follow other ways, for you will be separated from his way. This has he instructed you that you may become righteous. This is what the Nabi Muhammad has instructed you to do. To follow Allah's path, not his path. He don't have a path. He was guided himself by this guidance. Quran 64:12. So obey Allah and the messenger. If you turn away, remember that our messenger's duty is only to deliver the message. So I had to read that slow because they want to separate the messenger from the message. And his duty was only to deliver the message. And what is the message? Bukhari's hadith? No, the message is this Quran. Praise be to Allah. Will you not take heed? Quran 5:7. And remember the favor of Allah upon you and his covenant with which he bound you when you said, we hear and we obey and fear Allah. Indeed, Allah is knowing of that within the breast. See, you hear what Nabi Muhammad recited. That's what they obeyed. And what did he recite? The Quran. Praise be to Allah. The choice is yours, brothers and sisters. Will you choose true guidance over falsehood? Quran 45:6. These are the ayahs of Allah which we recite to you in truth. Then in what hadith after Allah and his ayats will they believe? That one about the wudu? You gonna believe that one? After I read the ayat of Allah to you? Quran 69:40 through 52. Most surely it is the word brought by a noble messenger. What was the word brought by a noble messenger? This Quran. And it is not the word of a poet. Little is it that you believe. What is not the word of a poet? This Quran. What is it little that you believe? This Quran. Nor the word of a soothsayer. Little is it that you mind. What don't you mind? The Quran. It is a revelation from the Lord of the worlds. This Quran is the revelation from your creator and the creator of the whole universe. Everything we know or understand. Will you not take heed? And if he fabricated against us some sayings, we would certainly have seized him by the right hand, and what? Then we would have cut from him the aorta, and not one of you could have withheld us from it. See, he had no sayings, brothers and sisters. He said no sayings or teachings from himself. Indeed, it is a reminder unto those who ward off. And we certainly know that there are amongst you those that reject. Yes. And indeed, it will be regret upon the disbelievers. And indeed, it is absolute truth. What is absolute truth? So exalt the name of your Lord the Great. Quran 46:9. Say, I am not something original among the messengers, nor do I know what will be done with me or with you. I only follow that which was revealed to me, and I am not but a clear warner. This is Prophet Muhammad. He was told to say this. So this is what we should say as we spread the message of Allah. See, he don't even know what's going to happen to him. But they tell you, if you have a mustard seed of faith, then, Prophet Muhammad going to help get you out of the hellfire. But he don't even know what's going to happen to him. They tell you, for you to go to paradise, you got to follow this hadith. Because you have to follow the sunnah of the Prophet. But the Prophet said, I only followed that which was revealed to me. What was revealed to him? Bukhari's hadith? No, the Quran. And he said, I am not but a clear warner. See, it's a warning. And now I'm reading this Quran to you, whoever's listening. You're being warned. The message has come to you. Will you not take heed?